Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the season finale of Loki and the glorious purpose that it gave us. Let's get into it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the End of the Line podcast. I am the nerd with the laughs here with...
Nerd with the knowledge.
That's right. And as he said, we're going to be talking about Loki season finale. I mean...
What a fucking episode.
Seriously. This... If there was anything that was going to shut up the negative feedback MCU was getting, it was this show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Marvel's back. Yeah. In my opinion.
Agreed. Strong... I mean... As much as the Marvels wasn't as popular as people thought it was, I enjoyed it. And I think them releasing this at the same time, I think it was a fail-safe to say, hey, we still got some good stuff coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, Marvels wasn't as accepted as well as it should have been, I enjoyed it. But this, holy
yeah, I definitely agree. I think that they released both at the same time was because of how the Marvel movies have been doing in theaters lately. So I think they wanted a backup plan, and that was Loki. But you have some nerd news to cover, right?
Yeah. So we got not only did we get a brand new movie, the Marvels, and then we got this amazing season finale.
Yeah.
We also got a release to Rebel Moon, which is a spin-off of what was originally supposed to be Zack Snyder's Star Wars movie, but it ended up never happening. Netflix ended up greenlighting it and greenlighting the script and helped them develop it because it was supposed to be Star Wars related. Yeah, never happened. Lucasfilm got sold, absorbed by Disney. And never happened.
Okay, that was around that time.
Correct.
Okay,
and then he had this idea in this script. And actually, I don't know if he had the script, but I know he had the idea, and then Netflix ended up greenlighting it. So it's a spin-off. It looks like there's something like.
It's like in that genre,
right? In that genre, yeah. It looks like they bit off the lightsabers a little bit. There was a little... Yeah, so there's some, like, weapons, like...
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and it does look... It definitely looks like a really good movie.
Very entertaining, and it's supposed to be multiple parts, so it could be...
I'm already a big fan of Zack Snyder. Not just for what he did for, Justice League, but I enjoyed his zombie movie, Dawn of the Dead, all that good stuff. I'm a big fan of his, and I really like the way he shoots movies because he does it with that cameraman background that he has.
Right.
So he gets really, really creative shots, and I think that's what I love about his films the most. But all right, and what else you got?
And then my personal favorite thing that's coming out on Netflix. Netflix has been killing it with some new releases. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes,
I'm so excited of it. If I was single and didn't have kids, I'd be bald and have an arrow on my forehead. I swear to God, no lie.
I 100% believe that. Yeah.
But man, I'm so excited for the M. Night Shyamalan. I was so excited for him to make Avatar: The Last Airbender, that movie.
Yeah,
and it just wasn't there.
It was a little disappointment for you, wasn't it?
For me, yeah. Some people enjoyed it. I did not.
I am one of those people. I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a good film. I had not been a fan of the cartoons, and from what I've over the years, asking people about that film, and I've noticed that people that are fans of the cartoon really hated the movie, and then like people like me who weren't fans of the cartoon or had seen it religiously. Enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I started watching season 1, and I'm like, oh, well, he included a lot, but he did change certain key things.
Yeah.
Which I think is where fans of the cartoon hated.
Yeah.
Or what they hated was that he changed really key elements. Like my wife pointed out, the main thing was that firebenders needed fire.
Correct. And only Iroh was the only one that, because he was the last one to slay a dragon, that's the only reason why he was able to use fire and what's the word I'm looking for? Like conjure it on his own.
Correct. Yeah. And then he only did it when they killed the moon spirit, right?
Right.
When it turned red. So like I think had he stuck to the original idea of that, I think it would have went over a lot better with fans of the cartoon.
And so Avatar is broken into 3 books, right?
4, no?
Is it 4?
Yeah, it's one each element, isn't it? Book 1's fire.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But the first book, the Book of Water, I guess you are right. You're right. Right. Yeah. Iroh plays a pivotal role in like saving going against General Zhao and stopping the Moon Spirit from being killed and then coming back, and then the princess giving her life for the Moon Spirit and all that.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I forgot to do this. Whoopsie.
But so I don't know. There's a lot of important parts. You don't see the development of what's the brother's name? What is the brother's name?
There's
Katara. There's Aang.
The one that's the waterbender.
Yeah.
Oh God.
How do I not remember
Yet
his
again,
name?
we do this every
and I know
time.
this movie or the show so well. I know Toph. I know Zuko.
You know everybody but him, right?
Everyone, him. General Iroh. Freaking.
And I tell you,
General Zhao. And
it's hard for you to do this, but stopping thinking about it is what brings
Sokka.
There you go.
Yes.
But for me, if I stop thinking about it, it comes to me.
Yeah.
But for you, it bugs you so much you can't do it, right?
I'll lose sleep. Yeah.
All right.
I'll kill
somebody. All right. So.
But yeah, so like Sokka wasn't as goofy and dorky as he is in the animated show.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
More serious.
Yeah, super
way
serious.
more
Way too
serious. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like that at all.
I said that too about the uncle in the cartoon. He's way more goofy, and in the movie,
so serious.
So it's basically like they had those two characters switch personalities.
Yeah, for the show, for the movie.
Yeah.
Would be badass if it was Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackie Chan can do no wrong in my opinion. So
yeah, I agreed.
I mean, I thought he was a great Master Splinter.
Goofy,
He was.
like, I don't know.
I think you think that
Uncle
because
Iroh,
he did a good job playing a goofy Master Splinter. So I think that's why you think that. Yeah.
Uncle Iroh is my favorite character out of all of it.
In the last
The way he mentors Zuko, just his whole philosophy, him being the leader of the White Lotus.
Okay.
Which I don't think you know what that is yet.
I do not.
Okay, cool. Dude, there's so much. I'm
sticking with it.
I also think he's good because of the drunken monkey, or what is it? The drunken something that he.
You mean the Lost Kingdom, where he played the drunken monk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of a character.
So,
I see Uncle being like that.
Yeah, for sure. Really quick, my favorite thing about the cartoon is that the prince is voiced by Rufio.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite thing. I was like, yes.
Who
and fully embrace the character.
Yeah, who also have what is Rufio up to? Like he is not aged until recently.
Yeah, he's still doing cons. He's still like repping.
But I'm saying like what he looked like. He looked like the way he did in Hook.
Oh, for sure.
Until the last 4 years ago. He aged hard.
The man's got great genes. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's like who's this guy?
I would
chilling in Lazarus.
I would
every weekend.
totally fanboy out if I met him. Like for sure. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Dude, as a kid, Rufio was like the fuck. It was the man to me. Like
Rufio.
Yeah, exactly,
Rufio.
dude. Hook, I can't even tell you how many times I saw Hook. I totally lost count.
Yeah.
That was my movie.
Infinite amount.
Yeah. But all right, so that was some good news. So keep an eye out for that, guys. We are going to be covering the last Airbender
animated series and then the movie.
Okay, so you want to do both? Awesome. So that way we can compare and contrast.
We have to. We have to. Because if you don't watch the show, you're not going to appreciate this movie.
For sure.
Not at all. And it looks from the looks of it, from the pictures and the trailer, they look like they're doing it right.
I have a feeling that they're going to. It's going to be like how The Last of Us was true to the game. I feel like that's going to be true to the cartoon.
That's a fair example. Yeah,
I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting so far.
I pray to God because I will boycott Netflix.
I don't think you'll need to get there. I think you'll be definitely satisfied with that. Yeah. But so keep a lookout for that, guys.
All right. So a couple days ago was Stan Lee's anniversary of his passing.
Yes.
So God rest the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
Excelsior. So two more things. What we got? Joke and question, right?
Yes.
So this joke.
Yes, give me the joke of the day. I need it.
It's pretty bad, bro.
Okay.
Hold on, guys. Loading.
Oh.
Hold on. It's not actually.
Okay, good.
What was T'Challa's nickname as a baby?
Oh God. What was it?
Black Pampers.
Oh God. That is so bad. It's good. Okay.
One more.
All right, one more.
What's always missing in Tony Stark's kitchen?
Don't tell me it's the obvious pepper.
Yeah, it's the pepper. It's pepper pots.
Oh God.
The Pepper Pots.
Yeah, that one was too on the nose.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. All right. Question of the day. Go ahead.
All right, let's dive in. All right. So, question of the day is, with the season finale being what it was, how do you think the ending of this season of Loki is going to affect the future of the multiverse saga?
Well, I mean, I didn't see him becoming the god of stories the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
Him physically being the temporal loom, or the loom to hold and filter all of these timelines.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that happening. After seeing Marvels and the end credit scene, it makes sense why.
Yeah.
Because he now has the power to. I mean, I wouldn't say he'd clip branch timelines the way He Who Remains was, but I think he's going to play a pivotal role in King Dynasty, as in him and the TVA creating their own team.
Okay.
So maybe that's where the Deadpool part comes in.
Makes sense.
The X-Men team, Hugh Jackman and them.
Okay.
And maybe some other timelines. As far as like the X-Men and the Fox and the Sony timelines, and where all that falls into play and how that lines up with the Marvel continuity now.
Okay.
So Kevin did say there was an article that he was talking about what that means for the future of all these timelines being released the way they were.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on one quick second.
So I mean, from what we know, we don't know if it's confirmed or not, but the plot of Deadpool 3 is him going back and essentially killing off the Fox universe. That's what we think is happening in Deadpool.
That's what
3.
we think, right? We don't know.
Like I said, it's not confirmed, but that's generally like what we're thinking is happening because of the ending of Deadpool 2.
Correct.
What he was doing. And then didn't we see something about like the TVA is actually going to be going after Deadpool?
Mobius is supposed to be in there.
Okay, see, so that's how I think it's going to be tying into the MCU. I think in that aspect.
Yeah, well, I think Loki is going to be pivotal in creating the team, because we know King Dynasty, the first initial Avengers team, is going to lose.
Right.
And then Secret Wars is going to be another team that's going to come in, supposedly rumored led by Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and a couple of the OG actors from.
It's going to be very similar to like how Infinity War was laid out, where it was separate teams. We're following separate teams at a time.
But I think it's flipped. So like there's separate teams that are going to attack in King Dynasty. So separate current Avengers that are alive right now. So Shang-Chi, Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Kamala Khan, and all of the newer Avengers that are new to the MCU. They are going to do essentially a time heist, and each team is going to attack a different king.
Right.
But that's done in the first version of it. Yeah. Versus Infinity War, they all lost. They got snapped. Endgame.
I meant in the layout aspect, like as far as like how the movie's gonna play out, is that it's gonna be similar to Infinity War, and the fact that we're gonna be seeing different teams at a time. It's not gonna. I mean,
Infinity War was just 2 teams. Endgame, the time heist was multiple teams.
It was 2 teams, like a set at the end, but we saw them in parts. We didn't see them as a team immediately. Like, we saw Wanda and Vision at first, and then we saw Cap met up with them, and then we saw Stark and Bruce. That's what I mean. Okay. Is that we're going to be seeing them in different
I get teams. What you're saying, but I think it's going to be more how Endgame, they all had a plan. They had a team.
Oh yeah,
and they separated. They go to different stones. The way they broke it up that way. Yeah. I get what you're saying, and we saw different elements of it. But that was just them telling the story.
Correct.
And it was also what I mean, the Black Order picking off them because they didn't want them to be a team.
True.
So that's why we met them individually, because they were trying to pick them off one by one. Right. To not let them come together.
Right.
But my point I'm making is how in Infinity War in Endgame when they do the time heist, they had a plan. Then they separated into teams. That's what's happening.
You think that's how it's going to go? Like they're all going to get together, create the plan, and then go after each king?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. All right. So what happened in Endgame is going to happen in Secret Wars. King Dynasty. They're going to fail because they've already said that they're going to fail.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be Loki and the TVA bringing together this OG cast of all the old original nostalgic actors playing, Toby playing Spider-Man, Logan, so just see all of that, and then in in Secret Wars, when everything blows up, shit hits the fan, they're gonna bring in the OGs to come in and save
okay. I thought it was gonna be more like each like group was gonna encounter a king.
No, I think that the way it's been explained is they're actively going for it. Because the TVA already knows. At the end, we get to see that the events in in Quantumania, they're aware of that it happened. And in 616 adjacent timeline.
Okay.
So now that happening, a 616 adjacent timeline, meaning all these timelines, the way Loki's holding them all together, everything is flowing next to each other, so they're not so far off from each other.
So do you think that that's how we're gonna get like 616A and 616B?
Correct.
That kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you mean by adjacent. Okay. Fair enough.
So what Kevin had said is that on the multiverse note, we recognize that there's a lot of stories and movies and series that are canonical to Marvel, but were created by different storytellers during different periods of Marvel's history. The timeline presents in this book, the book that's coming out about Phase 4, that the MCU's sacred timeline through Phase 4. But as we move forward and dive deeper into the multiverse saga, we know that the timelines may just crash and converge. Hint, hint. Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
And those are his words exactly.
Well, remember Feige almost spoiled a big key moment with on the red carpet. Remember?
Yeah.
When he almost gave away like what they already filmed.
Yeah.
That would have been a freaking epic slip up.
Super epic.
And then for it to come from Feige himself, that would have been Tom Holland would have been like, see, it's not so fucking easy, is it? You know what I mean? Because as you know, Tom Holland's like infamous for spoiling. Yeah. So all right. So I mean, let's dive into to the episode itself.
Yes. So ratings.
Stone rating.
What are you doing? 6.
Easy 6 stones.
Best thing we've had. I think it's the best series out. Like there's no one that could compete. I know I originally had WandaVision as number 1, but this easily takes the number 1 slot.
Oh, absolutely.
Now. Without a doubt.
I would go so far as to say it's one of Disney Plus's best shows. Period. Like,
yes.
Not just comic related, just the writing.
Yes.
The
over Star Wars and all the other
cinematography. Just this film had no reshoots. That alone says a lot about the passion in the project and everything.
They didn't shoot it, but episode 5, the original episode 5, was totally different from what we've seen.
Really?
Yeah, and Kevin stepped in and scratched the entire episode
before they got to filming. Oh, okay.
So the weekend before they did the shooting, he had to freaking rewrite it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, either way, I mean, for them to get everything that they wanted on the first go, relatively, I mean, it still says a lot about the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
but from whatever, all the writers and all the directors and everyone that was working on the series, they said the original episode 5 was a masterpiece.
Okay.
And it was one of the best episodes that they would have ever seen.
Okay.
And then Kevin scrapped it.
Do you know why he did that?
No.
Do you think like
they got the call and they were just told that that's how it's going to be, and he had to rewrite it?
So do you think maybe it played into too much, or it was too close to what he wanted to tell in
a different
story?
From what I understand, it was not the story that what we seen.
Okay.
So it was going to go in a different direction, but everyone says that it was super ballsy.
Okay, so maybe it was touching too close to King Dynasty movie or something like that.
Maybe. Or
I think that's what it was.
In my opinion, I think it was too close to establishing Kang as too important, not knowing with what's going on with the major situation.
Oh, okay. So
that's my opinion.
That makes a lot of sense.
And that's why it's hush hush and no one talks about it.
Just in case they had to go a different direction and act.
It gives them an opportunity to pivot out.
Right, and go in the Doom direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we did see reports that they looked into it.
Right. In my opinion.
That's a solid theory.
Yeah.
I like that.
But shout out to Jonathan Majors, regardless of his legal troubles, what's true and what isn't. His performance in this final episode, again, just...
I mean, honestly, I see him as... I mean, come at me if you want to, but I see him as this generation's Denzel.
Wow.
Like, I'm not comparing acting.
Yeah.
I mean in the level of his performance. Like, when he dives into a role, he dives into it. Like,
okay, fair.
Like, look at Denzel in Training Day. Now, watch that, and then go watch Equalizer.
Yeah,
it's two totally different characters, but you wouldn't.
Okay, fair.
You know what I mean? That's
okay,
what I mean.
I'm with you on that.
That's
just
what I mean.
The range that Denzel has in his repertoire.
The word I was fucking
is what
for. The range.
Jonathan Majors is able to do. Correct. Okay, cool. I agree with it then. Okay. I agree with that statement.
I'm not talking about level of talent. I'm not talking about that because they're
just what he can do and put on screen. Correct. And sell the character
like
the way he does.
I told you before while we were watching Loki. I'm like, it's hard for me watching him as Victor Timely. I'm like, I can't believe it's the same dude in Creed 3.
Oh yeah,
like he's a phenomenal actor. Like you could tell he was born to do this. I mean, it's unfortunate he has to deal with the legal troubles that he's dealing with. But that aside, like I'm a firm believer in separating the man from the art. You know what I mean? Like I've always been a believer of that because I know people have lives. You know what I mean? Like stuff happens. So
people make mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm a firm believer in. I mean, that's why I still listen to Chris Brown. You know what I mean? Like, I can do that. We're not gonna get into that, but I'm just saying, right. I can separate the man from the artist. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, in all aspects, movie, film, whatever.
For him to poke fun the way he did too,
dude, that was probably one of my favorite. One of my favorite things I've seen.
Victor Timely,
dude.
I'm like, bro, you're making fun of your own acting.
Like, I feel like, cool. And that just shows his range. And for you to be able to poke fun of your own character and do it so seamless like that, I'm like, dude. And I feel like that's something we would do. You know what I mean? Like we would poke fun of our own variants.
And for him to so the banter back and forth as they're talking in the Citadel, right? And he's having that conversation with Loki, and he's like. He's leading the conversation and winning the conversation most of the time. And then he switches to when he switches to the defense, when he realized Loki snaps and he's like, what makes you think this is the first time we had this conversation?
Dude, that was the best fucking clapback, I swear. I was like, what?
And then he's like, all right, this guy means business. So then he picked up his pants and was like, all right, come on, let's go. And for him to switch from talking in riddles and be like, yo, you got this? Are you finally going to figure it out? To... all right, this guy means business. The level of seriousness that switched in his face, and his laser focus in his eyes,
What I liked about that is that you could tell Loki was just waiting for the moment in the conversation for him to do that.
Right.
He was just waiting for it. He was like, "Come on, keep going now." You know what I mean? That's what I really liked about it.
Agreed. And he's like, I think he says "Welcome to the conversation," or what did he say? He said
something like that.
Yeah. He's like, I've always liked you. You're always my favorite. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
But I like that he was just trying to see how long Loki would keep trying to stop Sylvie.
Yeah, because until he finally decided to kill her.
Realized that he's like, oh, he's not going to kill her. He's like, and then I fucking love that.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that part. I was like, what? Yeah.
Intense.
For sure.
But yeah, so let's just talk a little bit. We talked about the ending. Spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, by the way.
I'm way past that. The spoiler warning ahead of time, so don't.
But it starts off with him finding a way to control because we see at the end of 5, he figures out a way to control it.
His time slipping, yeah.
Correct. And that's where he starts controlling it and developing himself into this god of stories. So he goes back and he does all these different things to try to stop this whole situation. And then he realizes, damn, I'm the one that has to be the one to do it. Going through, I don't know, countless of, you said the century joke that they make.
Dude, I thought that was the best way to do that. Be like, how long will it take me to learn what I need to know for this? And then what did Obi say at first? What did he say? Decades? And then
Victor time is centuries.
Centuries. And then it just goes centuries later. Fucking best way to do that. Because we already saw the repetition of him trying and trying and trying. If you were to do that again, you would have lost. It'd have been like, okay, enough with this already.
Yeah.
So for them to just do centuries later, I thought was the fucking
it was awesome.
It was the best. I do want to say our producer called it. She's like, he's gonna go back to when Sylvie was trying to kill He Who Remains.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I think he's gonna go back to when he's gonna try to start doing fixing the loom first. And then he did, but I didn't think he was gonna ever try to go to that point. That's when she pointed that out, and I was like, oh, maybe. And then sure enough,
yeah.
So I was like, fucking, she's good with that, man. She's really good with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I did love the the part where he does start getting the like the steps faster and faster, and Victor's time he starts making his way. I just love the commentary that Loki's doing. He's like, "You're being so brave, brave." That shit.
One step, like, 1 foot after another.
Yeah, I felt like that's a very like parent thing to be doing, like just in your kid's ear.
Well, because as it is, he's thousands of years old.
Correct.
And now he's gone through so many versions of that same exact time.
Me just being a parent, I really love that part because I'm like, that's exactly what we all be doing.
I thought it was.
It'll roll away.
Yeah. Don't put it down; it's gonna roll away. How many times have you told your kid not to do something, then they do it? You're like, it's gonna do it. But yeah, that was the best.
I thought it was interesting that Mobius was catching on to, like, what do you mean this time? Like, certain phrases, Mobius was the only one catching on.
Mobius has always been good at that. He's always been very, very observant and very quick to catch things that
Do you think he is somebody else on the Sacred Timeline other than that variant that we see with the kids?
The salesman? Mm-hmm. The jet ski salesman?
Do you think he will play a larger role outside of just being awesome Mobius?
I hope so. I hope the same thing happens with like how Wong wind up being a bigger character in the MCU than originally planned. Right. I hope they go that same way with Mobius because I think Owen Wilson is doing a fantastic job as Mobius.
Okay.
I hope it. I do hope that that character has a bigger role in the MCU going forward.
Okay. Fair enough. Me too.
I do.
Me too. All right. And then, so as far as,
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
What the hell is HWR? I could not figure that out.
HWR.
When He Who Remains says that. Oh fuck! He Who Remains. All right, moving on. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't look like it. You know what I mean? I don't know why. Because he said it in like a weird spot.
Well, yeah, because he's very. The way he speaks is,
so you can't blame me completely for that.
Yeah.
Like, he said it out, and I'm like, what the fuck? I thought he was referring to something else. I'm like, what the hell is HWR?
All right, guys. Usually moments like this happen off camera. This is funny that you guys got to see this live.
It's all, and I guarantee you it's going to happen again. So. All right, cool. So figure that one out. I do want to say one of my favorite parts of this episode was the wardrobe transition. From the TVA outfit into the God of Stories look. As an editor myself, dude, I absolutely love that, and I hope to one day get to that level of editing because like that's I'm starting to notice, and I started noticing this in college when I had that editing class that was looking like that's what I was going to be getting into, like that was the field or the direction I was going to be going was editing. Because I absolutely love it. I love doing our editing and stuff like that. And when I saw that, dude, it ignited something in me. Nice. I'm like, dude, that's what I want to get to.
It's not too late to go back to home.
No, I mean, school. Well, that's the great thing about this is that I'm getting practicing with this. You know what I mean? Correct, so like, I'm still at it, and I don't plan on giving it up anytime soon.
Nice.
But yeah, so just the editor in me absolutely love that part. Like, hats off to whoever either storyboarded that or edited that, the whole team behind that whole scene. I mean, hats off because that was beautifully done. Yeah, it gave me very like the Anakin Darth Vader Flash scene.
Oh yeah,
it gave me those vibes, and I go gaga for that shit. I fucking love it, absolutely love it. All right,
so how about any questions you have, things that weren't answered so far?
I think you answered all of them. All of the questions that I had, you kind of filled in those gaps. So cool. I think the only thing I would say is the state of the TVA right now. How do you think that do you think we're going to see that specific, like the future of that TVA at all?
Yes.
And where do you think we'll see that?
Well, I mean, the TVA is a constant happening in the Marvel Comics.
Okay. Hey guys, if you're looking to start your comic book collection, or maybe you just want to grow the collection you already have, please go check out Raw Comics. They have a great selection of Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and independent comics. Or if you're just looking for a cool place to hang out, they have themed days there. Tuesday is Pokemon, also Street Fighter. Wednesday is Open and Smash Brothers tournaments. Thursday is Yu-Gi-Oh! And Mortal Kombat. Friday is Magic the Gathering, card playing game and open games. Saturday is Pokemon and Street Fighter Tournament. Sunday is Yu-Gi-Oh! And Smash Brothers. So they have PS5 and Xbox as well.
They also have a lot of Funko Pops, comic themed merchandise as far as like cups, action figures. They're located on 2512 West 47th Street, Chicago, Illinois 60632, which is the Brighton Park neighborhood. You can find a lot of their like catalogs on RAW-COMICS.Chicago.Shopify.com, and then you can purchase on their Square website at RAW-COMICS.SQUARE.SITE. There's still a timeline where Victor Timely exists. Right. So everything that's happened, and Loki made it. It seems he made it a point that he's not gonna. What's the word? What was the word that they used? Like to clip the timelines.
Prune.
Yeah, they're not gonna prune anything, and you can see even on the poster that they're grooming the tree of timelines, and so they're not. So Victor Timely exists, and in order for them to, how do I say it? Like, that's why I asked what the hell happened to Victor Timely.
Yeah. Because
they would have to have erased his original timeline and everyone in it.
Right.
And kill millions of what they have been trying to avoid this entire time.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they just left it open because they may not know if they're going to continue with Jonathan Majors or not.
Right.
I think that's the main reason. But I really loved how Loki essentially went full circle with his glorious purpose. Remember?
Yes.
He got the throne he wanted. He just didn't get he didn't get it in the way he thought he was going to.
Right.
He thought he was going to rule.
Correct.
Turns out his destiny got a story.
Yeah. Well, he's the Loki, the god of mischief, and he's notorious for being known as being selfish. And for the first time, and there's this quote that he says to his dad when he's hanging from.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was referencing. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the quote is, for you and for all of us, and he says that to Odin. He's like, I could have done this for you, for all of us, and then he says that again to Mobius and to Sylvie, that he's doing it for you and for all of us. And so he made the ultimate sacrifice because he didn't want to be alone, but he realized he's the only one that has the power to save everyone that he loves, and so the villain become a true hero. You know what I mean? And we talked about this in our villain episode. The only difference between a villain and a hero is that one moment where you do right and you put someone else above yourself to make lay yourself out on the line to give your life for everybody else.
Yeah. I thought it was just so beautifully done the way they did that, the way they showed that growth of Loki and how they tied it back to Thor.
Yeah.
To him and Odin. I thought it was just beautifully done. Absolutely.
Agreed. And I think they have to in Secret Wars, like, space off a segment of this Loki seeing his brother.
Okay.
Having a reunion of him explaining, I've seen it all. I know where I made mistakes. I know I passed. I miss you, brother. And them embracing each other.
So you want Thor to know that Loki became the god of stories.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
And the brother that he always believed he could be.
Yes.
Yeah, Thor never gave up on Loki.
For sure.
He's always loved him, and he's always knew he can be better than what he was.
For sure. And it was just Loki being selfish and
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing.
And it'd be huge news if Marvel doesn't use that, or at some point, if they don't do it in Secret Wars, maybe. Well, I guess this is part of my other question. Are you okay if Loki series ends like this?
I am.
I totally am.
I thought
I would be okay with season 3.
It'd be a great ending. I think there is a story to tell if they do want to go with season 3.
Agreed.
There's definitely a story to tell. But if they want to stop it here and then just have him be in films and stuff like that and in future projects,
I'd be happy with it.
I'm totally happy with it.
Agreed. Yeah. I think this is the first time where I want more, but I'm okay if I don't.
Correct. Yeah.
And then usually I'm just like, they have to give me another episode.
I don't. I'm not with you on that. In the fact that I want more Hawkeye, and Addie from Film Addicts is with me. We need another season of Hawkeye.
I don't care
because we're fans of it. Imagine like the way we see Hawkeye is the way you see WandaVision.
But I know they're not gonna.
I understand that, but us as fans of Hawkeye, we want another season. We're not saying we need it. We just really want it because we're huge fans of that show.
Fair enough.
I was talking to Addie about it. We're like, yeah, we definitely want another season of Hawkeye.
Yeah. I just don't see it happening either.
And I don't either. Like I said, it's just
something you would like.
Yeah, I really want. Just because I'm a huge, Hawkeye fan. But anyway, all right. So any last points?
No. I mean,
I don't know. Is Loki just gonna stay in the throne and that's it?
Yeah. That's he's the god of stories. He fulfilled his destiny. He's the god of stories.
He is he who remains. The way he was at the Citadel at the end of time. This is what Loki does now. This is who he becomes. And
he can't never leave. Okay.
No, because then I think all of the timelines would become chaos.
He's
again.
the one holding that tree together.
Yeah, it's his powers that are holding him.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you don't think he'll ever figure out a way where his powers still can, like,
Maybe.
kind of like the Tesseract had something like that.
I'm sure he can figure it out. I'm sure with other Lokis
his
or
powers will evolve to that point.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or
it evolved throughout the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I see him being like the Madam Web of the Secret Wars.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like opening a portal and bringing in, and that being a safe haven for the teams that are failing. He's like, all right, open this portal, bring them in, let them come here to regroup.
So that's a perfect way to he could bring in Thor and show Thor that this is,
this is what I've done. This is what I've
exactly.
Became.
That'd be perfect right there. That's the perfect way to do it with Thor.
Yeah.
I think.
That's what I think will happen. Him as who he is. And I said it too. It's similar to the What If episode with Doctor Strange. In darkness, accumulating all this power to do something for the one he loves. Versus
you were almost dead on. Like they gave you a glimpse of it, but you thought that's how they were gonna end it.
Yeah.
But then they gave you what you wanted, but then they added onto it.
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad they did, because I would have been so.
Well, I think that's why we're okay with it being the end.
Yeah.
Or okay if there's more, because we got the closure. Because if they ended it with just Loki at the end of time in his Citadel and not showed anything else, we'd be like, what the fuck? You got to give me more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because they gave closure that Loki or Sylvie is living her life, Mobius, goes back to his version, his timeline, and B-15's running the TVA. And the TVA seems to be functioning correctly.
How it should
have been.
Yeah,
correct.
And then you pointed out to me, I didn't notice that his crown is the material of the Citadel.
Correct. Yeah.
I thought it was just his crown. I thought it was just a dark green.
Oh no.
But you pointed out to me that it's the Citadel.
The same
material.
Same material as the Citadel, which we don't know what that rock is made of.
Correct.
It could be like a version of vibranium or things like that,
or just another type of.
Oh no, yeah, like uru, that kind of steel.
Because you saw him, he can actually manipulate it too.
What?
That's what was on his wrist. Was a piece of it, wasn't it? On He Who Remains. That's
correct.
Yeah. So
correct.
It's
his master key was what that was.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then as it forms, the cracks in his helmet and Loki's helmet,
his crown,
sorry, was the golden. Like there was like golden specks in the cracks, which is what all that gold that raised to his chair to make his throne gold. I wonder what element that is and what key that would play.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what Miss Minute is derived from. Probably. Whatever that source of energy, how he's able to harness time and energy the way he does.
Yeah.
In the Citadel, that element is something tied into what she is.
When I saw that happening, I looked at it more as they're staying true to the Loki theme and the color, the golden green color scheme.
Yeah.
I saw it but they were just like they were paying homage to Loki's look, but showing it in a more evolved manner.
Yeah.
So that's how I saw it.
Yeah,
and then you broke it down for me, saying that, oh no, there's more meaning behind it.
Yeah.
It's actually this and this, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So there's like two different levels of it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, kudos to Marvel. I mean, they delivered like an amazing show. I'm proud of what we have right now. We had some scarce content here and there.
I mean, this is a great way to say Marvel's back.
Yeah,
I think this is the best way to do it, to say that. Yeah. I think it's definitely sparked life back into the MCU.
Yeah,
and we desperately needed it.
Yeah.
Because I was getting nervous.
I wasn't nervous.
No, I was getting nervous as far as like the content that you were getting. But now that the writer strike is over, the actor strike is over, and congrats to the actors and the writers that they got what they deserve. That's awesome. We're so happy for you guys. But yeah, so I'm very optimistic for the future of film and TV from here on out.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, but I think that's it for me. Any last points you got?
No, that's it.
All right, so
I do have
what happened?
Okay.
like I do feel like they will probably be if they do bring it back this season.
A third season.
Third season. Like it
Oop.
has to do something with Miss Timely because
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes.
Okay.
How obsessed she was.
It's funny that she said Miss Timely, which that's basically
what she wants
Miss
to be,
Minutes wanted to be. That's hilarious.
And how she was so called rebooted. I think that she'll eventually come out of that and just
Oh, you think so?
destroy everything to get back.
Fair enough. I think.
It's an interesting theory.
I think that can be the way the TVA gets infiltrated. Whatever code and whatever this organic situation is with the Citadel, Kang's gonna find a way to tap back into it. Victor Timely or another variant of Kang, be able to, because I think this is his Trojan horse that he was okay with losing.
Yeah.
Because he knew he'd be able to control it in the future to gain intel on the TVA, find out what all the other Avenger teams are doing.
So do you think Miss Minutes is gonna kind of pull like an Ultron? Is that what you're saying? That she's gonna develop her own thing and then attack the TVA like how Ultron did with the Avengers? Is that what you're saying? You know how they were creating Ultron for a specific thing, but then he developed, you know what I mean? And then he started attacking the Avengers.
I guess that's one way to put it. It can go one of two ways. It can go, Kang can still have access to Miss Minutes, and eventually we'll use it to infiltrate the TVA.
Okay.
Or she's gonna be pissed that she never got time with him or action with him, and is gonna aid the Avengers and the other side.
Oh,
in vengeance towards him.
Like mini me?
Yeah, like a toxic ex-girlfriend. A toxic ex-girlfriend is what it is, That's what Miss Minutes is right now.
That would be the definition of it, yeah. Okay. Yeah, right. That would confirm theories that she is modeled after Latina. Okay. All right, so that's going to do it for us today. I want to thank you guys for joining us again. And Kiki, I know you know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I am with you.
Till the end of the line.
Thanks, guys.